Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Israel and Brian here from Metal Swap Talk. Very excited today. We have a very special guest with us today, none other than Olli-Pekka Laine from Amorphis. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. We just did our last festival gig in Portugal a couple of days back, and now we are preparing to hit North America with Amorphis, and we are going to start from, I can't remember, but anyhow, we are doing this time a little bit differently. We usually start from New York City, but this time we end there. So we are going from east south to California, and from there to Canada, and from there to New
Yeah,
York, and back home. Then it's gonna last for 5 weeks, and I'm looking forward to it.
yeah. It looks like it's gonna be a long one. You guys are having a little bit of a celebration with the 30th anniversary of Tales from a Thousand Lakes, which very, very excited about. And you guys also have the you recorded a live version of Tales from a Thousand Lakes from beginning to end, right?
Well, yeah, it was COVID times, so we just booked Tavastia Club, which was naturally empty at the time because there was like pretty strict restrictions due to COVID, and we decided to do this kind of a studio live album out of Queen of Time and also from Tales from the Thousand Lakes because we had time and opportunity to do those, and yeah, we just thought that maybe there should be or would be some kind of future use for those. And obviously, because it was our anniversary, was it 30th anniversary, 3 decades at time as a band. We were about to head to US with Entombed AD at the time, so we had rehearsed Tales from the Thousand Lakes at that point because we were aiming to play the album there in its entirety, but it didn't happen naturally.
Yeah.
So we had rehearsed it already, so we thought like, why not to record it as a live album with the same sweat when we were doing the Queen of Time live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's one of the main things that we were kind of we were listening to it, and we're like, there's no like crowd sound or anything like that. I mean, was this recorded during the pandemic? I'm like, oh, okay, now we get the answer.
Oh,
Your last studio album, Halo, came
true.
out in 2022.
Yeah.
Was that written and rehearsed during COVID as well?
Yes, it was COVID times, and we did it basically virtually with Jens Bogren. We rehearsed the songs together. Uh, I can't remember. It was 21 somewhere, maybe the fall of 21. No, I'm not quite sure, but anyhow, uh, it wasn't a traditional recording session because we were not able to meet all the times, like with the technicians and producers and so forth. So we had kind of short periods where we could have sessions in the studio in Helsinki, and Jens was not able to come over this time, so it was a little bit hard to work with him because he was in Sweden and we were in Finland, and whenever he found something to fix in the tracks we've tracked, we had to go to the studio again and redo it somehow. So, but it was a different kind of session. We naturally played together in the studio first as a live band, as 6 piece. We did all the songs together in 1 or 2 days, and then Snoopy, the drummer, started to track drums on top of the other instruments little by little, and then we entered the studio one by one and did our parts. I think I played like 3 days in the studio all together, and with the fixes later on, naturally. But still, yeah, that's how it went. And well, hopefully next time will be like a traditional recording session. Yeah, it's going to start in December. We are going to start recording the next album. Yeah.
Oh wow, great to hear. Great to hear. Um, you guys are starting out with this tour. You're touring with Dark Tranquillity, if I'm not mistaken, and was it Fires in the Distance, I believe is the other band. 5 week tour of the U.S. and you are going to be having a stop here in San Diego, which is great. We get to see you again. Um, is the U.S. still a decent market for a band like Amorphis?
Well, that's a good question. It's a kind of hard market for bands like us. If you think about uh, these old gothic bands like Moonspell, uh, Paradise Lost, and Tyrion, and so forth, they are not touring in the States at all because it is hard market for bands like this. And I think North Americans are more, especially US music fans are more into more extreme music when it comes to metal. So uh, it's not as popular as it is in Europe. We could manage by only touring the Europe and Finland, but naturally it's good for as a press and for the carrier to come over to the States and Canada as well from time to time. So I'd say it's hard and it's not changing a bit that much. It's been like pretty stable for a few years already. I think we toured there the first time in 1994, and probably we are still doing some of the same venues as we did back then. So
Yeah.
it's hard for bands like Amorphis because we don't have any kind of stage props or you know um, we are
Big
not
production.
dressing we are not dressing like Vikings or whatever. So there's not much to see if you come up to see a huge show or something. So we just let the music do the talking and but we have decent following there as well. So we have to be happy that we are able to come over uh, at least like in a let's say 2 years time frame.
Right, right. Yeah, I think the last time you guys were here was in 2022, if I'm not mistaken.
So, yeah, so it's always fun to get over because it's so different to play in the States if you compare it to Europe because we have huge production here. We have trucks and we have uh, like LED screens and stuff like that. So it's totally different kind of ball game here. When we come to States, we are just playing meat and potatoes show and that's it basically. But it's fun as well.
Um, you've been in this band obviously a long time, and the band's been going for a while. Um, what keeps inspiring you to create this music and have the band like evolve?
Well, first of all, we just were into death metal and um, wanted to play death metal crawling with crawling vocals and with down-tuned guitars. And in really early stages, we already started to flirt with different kind of genres. We started to listen to bands like Pink Floyd and King Crimson and King Stonewall and so forth. So our musical taste is just simply changed. I personally didn't listen to metal music that much on, let's say, 94 anymore. So it was like really short period where we actually listened to death metal and played it. If you think about it now, it was something like 5 years or so. So, but then it felt like a long time. But yeah, then we just wanted to start to come up with different kind of music and make it a little bit more crossover and start to bring some of those prog rock influences to our music and to start to like experiment with the music a little bit more, and that's how we found our style, if you can say so, uh, and of course we slipped away a little bit from that in the end of 90s, like many bands did back then. So, but fortunately, the guys found the right track in the early 2000s somewhere with Eclipse album. So I think after that it's been pretty stable music wise. Nowadays it's a little bit probably heavier again after a couple softer albums like Beginning of Times, for example. But with a Circle album, it changed a little bit to the more brutal direction again, and especially with Under the Red Cloud, where Jens Bogren was in charge, and he basically told the band to respect the roots and bring up the tempo a little bit again. So that's what we did, and that's what we've been doing ever since. So, but it's not that different from what we've done in the 90s. I could say maybe we have a little bit more of clean vocals nowadays, but we are still having those growlings. So yeah, I think we are not uh, seeing that dramatic changes in Amorphis style anymore. We've done
Mm.
our experiments and we've found our style. So let's stick to that for now.
Mm. So, Tales from a Thousand Lakes turns 30 years old, and from back when you guys recorded the album and put it out, if you can recall how the reception of that album was back then, how was it that you saw the reception in the death metal community or in just the metal community in general?
Yeah, it was weird because we didn't expect any success with that album. We just thought it's different, and we liked it personally. So we were proud of it, of course, but we didn't know how it would be received at all because it was different. And uh, Thomas Kutzberg, the producer, told us that it's probably too much. So uh, people around us probably some of them like believed us, and record label Relapse, of course, thought it was a great album, and but we were totally unaware how people would react to it. But fortunately, everybody embraced it, most of people, and yeah, I just recently read some old reviews of the album when it just came out, so they were really positive reviews, and maybe a couple of them was like not so much, but still it was. I think it was embraced pretty much in the scene at the time already, and it was kind of surprise for us because we didn't expect anything. And when we went to our first tour in Europe, there were like full packed houses and so forth, and it was weird because in Finland we were just little small, totally like an underground band, and um, we were not present in the press or whatever, and Finnish media just ignored metal bands anyway. Like at the time, they just wanted to bring up pop bands which were singing in Finnish, and well, it's a little bit like the same still, but still, it was even worse. So, uh, so therefore, it was little like a total surprise for us when we went to Europe and played in Frankfurt, our first show outboards, and it was full house, and people were going crazy. So it was an interesting time, at least.
You mentioned Finland. You didn't get much press from your country at the time. Um, I'm guessing that has changed. The scene there has changed a lot over these years.
Yes, we do get some press nowadays, and but still, uh, metal music is strictly separated from other kind of genres in the media. There's no like if some newspapers are doing like an article out of metal band. It's some kind of special metal uh, number of the paper, uh, or if there's an award for prizes, which is the album of the year, there is always a metal category, and
Mm.
it feels like it's like something that just has to be because metal is so popular in Finland. It's probably the most popular genre, and media and this industry just have to like add us to some category,
Mm.
and and even true they would like to bring those pop bands up and make them famous outboards, but unfortunately it's not happening. I don't know. It's there's a
The-
couple of pop bands which are doing all right outside of Finland, but there's tons of metal bands which are touring all the time outside of Finland. So it is going on still, but we are getting press and um, in the music magazines, for example, and whenever our album comes out, it's very well promoted, and every magazine wants to have a story of Amorphis. So no complaints in that department at all.
That's right. The uh Tales from a Thousand Lakes live at Tavastia is coming out on Raining Fire Music. Is it going to be out in physical forms, I imagine, as well?
Yeah, it's Raining Phoenix Music. Uh, it's a label which used to be Atomic Fire, but their boss changed. It was bought by another person, and he wanted to change the label name, but basically it's the same label. Yeah, it's out, and it's out as for vinyl and CD and
Hmm.
whatever formats, and in the digital streaming platforms as well. Uh, yeah, and that actually went to number one in Finland when it was released. I don't know how has it been received generally, but still, I don't know. It's just a live album. It's hard to sell records anyway nowadays,
Yeah.
and not to speak of live albums, which could be a little bit even more hard to do. But anyway, it's out, and we will probably bring some copies to North America as well, so you can check
Awesome.
it out from there. From the
Cool.
That's all I got.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks a lot again for hanging with us today. And it's kind of early. Well, here it is over there, not so much, but thank you so much. We can't wait to see you guys here in a few weeks. It's gonna be a treat, like always, when we see y'all. Uh,
September 14th
September 14th,
is when you're playing in San Diego, which is where we're at.
yeah.
And that's with Dark Tranquility and Fires from the Distance.
Hmm.
And that'll be at Brick by Brick.
yeah,
Cool, man.
yeah,
Thanks
that's
again.
and yeah, looking
We'll
forward
see.
to come over come to say hi if you
Yeah,
have the
man.
chance. So it's always nice
Absolutely,
to
we'll
hang
be.
out.
Yeah, absolutely, we'll be there. For Brian, Israel, that's Ollie. Uh, thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
Metal Swap Talk. We'll see you guys soon.